My boyfriend just said something vile to me. I'm laying in bed, gaming with my cat Cinnamon, trying to sneak some of my food. I kept shooing her away, but she wouldn't budge. My boyfriend, let's call him S, grabbed her by the scruff and pulled her away, which made Cinnamon cling to a heavy body pillow. He didn't stop pulling until her claws came free. I got upset and told him he didn't need to do that, especially since it could hurt her. He looked at me and said, "Zip your lip, that's what you need to do." I was taken aback and asked, "What?" He replied, "You're a special kind of breed, aren't you?" I tried to explain, "S, you can hurt her." He just shrugged and said, "So what am I supposed to do? She's clinging on." I suggested, "Stop pulling her away and unhook her claws." He stared at me like I was being unreasonable. After he took the cats out, he acted like nothing happened. I felt sick to my stomach, and my heart ached. I needed space, so I told him, "What happened with Cinnamon really upset me. I need some time to cool off. Please no long messages back." He simply replied, "Okay." Now I'm contemplating leaving him over this. I'm trying to process everything, but I wonder if this is something unrepairable. I just need to figure it all out when I'm sober.
AITA. My parents are forcing me to pay for my brother's grad school using money they never told me about. I've been financially independent since graduating college. I work nearly full-time while studying, recently paid off my student loans, and just started saving to buy a home. I didn't apply to grad school because I couldn't afford it, and my parents made it clear that we needed to stand on our own after high school. My brother is honestly a genius. He worked really hard in school, earned a full academic scholarship to a great state university, and graduated with honors. I'm so proud of him. The challenge now is that he got accepted into a prestigious grad program that could open many doors for him. He hoped for scholarships or a paid internship, but it just wasn't enough. Now he's facing tuition and housing costs in one of the most expensive cities in the country. My parents asked if I could help out and suggested I contribute around $15,000 for his first year. They'd match it and he'd take loans for the rest. I said no. I've worked for over a decade on my own goals, and I'm finally starting to save for a house. I don't feel comfortable putting that on hold, especially when I had to turn down opportunities because there was no help available to me. During the conversation, my mom got frustrated and mentioned they'd be using my other fund to help him instead. I was confused and asked what she meant. She revealed they had set aside about $25,000 for me back when I was in college, intended for a future wedding. I was completely blindsided. I had no idea this fund existed. I asked why I wasn't told about it when I was considering grad school or now while I'm saving for a home. She said it was always meant for a wedding, not school or property, and since I haven't needed it, being single, they decided to give it to my brother because he has a more immediate need. I never got a chance to express how I could have used that money, and now it's just being handed over to someone else. I told them I felt hurt and left out. My mom said I was being unfair and that the money was never promised. If I didn't want it for a wedding, then it made sense to use it for something meaningful. My brother didn't know about the wedding fund either. He understands why I'd be upset, but said he didn't ask for it. He just wants to go to school and thought we were all trying to support each other. I know my brother worked hard and isn't trying to take anything from me, but I can't shake the feeling that my parents are punishing me for being practical. AITA for seeking a new bank account without telling my mom after a significant loss of money. Hi everyone, I'm sharing my story here for the first time, so please bear with me. A couple of years ago, I received about $7,000 from my grandmother to help me start college. My parents wanted me to focus on school, so I didn't work during high school, which paid off. I graduated as valedictorian. Because of this, I never had access to my personal bank accounts. Whenever I had cash or checks to deposit, my mom would put it into a joint savings account she claimed was mine. Fast forward a year, and I was ready to open a checking account. My mom came with me and suggested we keep the joint savings account as it was. I finally got my own checking account, but when I checked the savings, I found only $1,000 left. My mom often mentioned needing to dip into it, and I always trusted her to pay me back, unaware of how low the balance had dropped. A few months later, my old car broke down for good. My mom's family pushed me to get a new one, and I eventually agreed, thinking I wouldn't have to cover the full monthly payments of about $900. My grandmother and dad generously helped me with around $7,500, while my mom's parents put down about $3,000 for the car. Recently, I learned from my grandparents that the money from my dad and grandmother had run out, and I needed to start paying again. I've been searching for a job daily, but since I didn't work in high school, I've had no luck. I've been door dashing, but that's not enough. When I received my college financial aid refund of about $2,000, I set aside some for a special Valentine's Day surprise for my girlfriend. I knew I needed a decent amount for my plans, but my mom quickly put restrictions on my refund, insisting it should go toward the car. I managed to transfer $200 for early shopping and dates, but when I checked my account a few days ago, all but $50 was gone. When I confronted my mom, she told me I needed to listen to her, that her word was final, and that I couldn't be trusted with my own money. She even brought up my decision to move in with my dad, and implied I should be responsible for the entire $900 monthly payment. So I'm left wondering, am I wrong for wanting to open a different bank account without telling her?
My boyfriend of 2 years is going on a week-long trip to Italy. How do I not resent him? He was invited by his work, along with 7 of his coworkers, and everything is completely paid for. Meals, flights, excursions, even a private yacht and a mansion on the beach. It's literally a trip of a lifetime, and he didn't have to spend a dime. When he first told me, I felt anxious. 7 months ago he did something that broke my trust, and we've been working to rebuild it. As the trip approached, I learned he had the option to bring a +1, and all the other guys invited their girlfriends or wives. I was the only one left out, and that changed everything for me. It felt personal. I couldn't help but wonder why he didn't want to invite me when everyone else did. When I brought it up, he said he didn't realize it would mean so much to me. He viewed it as a networking trip and didn't want to worry about keeping me entertained while he was busy. He mentioned I'd just be sitting in our room, which, yes, would be in a beautiful mansion on the beach, but I'd still be alone. Now he's living his life across the world with happy couples, while I'm at home, trying not to spiral. I feel hurt and excluded, and resentment is building. He knew I was anxious about him going, especially after what happened before. He had the option to invite me, but chose not to. He said he never considered how I'd feel and was thinking from a different perspective. Despite this, we have an incredible relationship. We rarely fight. He covers my school and bills, and he's my best friend. I don't want to destroy what we have. So I'm left questioning if I'm being overly emotional or if this is a real red flag. How do I process this without letting it turn into long-term resentment?
Husband cheated on me with his fit and skinny gym friend. I came home from work early, and as an OB nurse, my hours can be unpredictable. When I found female sneakers in the garage that weren't mine, a sinking feeling settled in. My husband had recently become very fit and had been spending a lot of time at the gym. He even brought this beautiful thin friend home for dinner last week. I felt horrible about myself. I talked to him about it, and he encouraged me to build my confidence, assuring me he loved me and would always be loyal. But when I walked into the laundry room and tiptoed around the house, I discovered them having sex in our bed. A framed picture from our wedding hung above the nightstand. I silently left the room, tears streaming down my face. I got back in my car, drove to get food, and just sat there crying. It's now almost 1 a.m. I walked in on them at 7 p.m., and I've returned to the hospital. When he called, asking why I wasn't home, I told him my shift was extended. In reality, I'm lying in one of the on-call rooms, feeling utterly broken. I feel worthless, ugly, and stupid. I don't even know how to proceed. Part of me wants to divorce him and never see him again, but another part feels trapped in my own insecurities. I just want to disappear. The self-loathing is overwhelming. I appreciate the support I've received, but I'm struggling. I know everyone thinks I should leave, but a marriage is more complex than a few words on a website. He was a good husband, and I can't help but feel at fault for neglecting myself. I don't know what I'll do next, but for now, I'm just trying to process everything. AITA for not enjoying the birthday gifts my friend got me that mocked my dead mother? Hi everyone. I'm sharing my story because it's been weighing heavily on my heart. I lost my mother unexpectedly 8 months ago, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. Our relationship was complicated, filled with things left unsaid, Not getting to say goodbye has haunted me every single day. I have a supportive group of friends from high school and university. One friend, Kayla, has been particularly amazing. She always checked in on me, making sure I was okay during this difficult time. Yesterday was my birthday. Kayla and some friends surprised me with decorations, snacks, and cake. After a tough morning filled with dread about the day, their kindness made me feel seen and loved. But then came the gifts. I opened a large box from Kayla, excited to see what was inside. To my shock, there was a mug and a hoodie, both boldly stating motherless behavior. I was stunned and had to excuse myself. I ended the night early, feeling hurt, while Kayla muttered that it was supposed to be funny as she left. This morning, I woke up to texts from friends reassuring me that Kayla meant no harm. But Kayla's messages were lengthy and hurtful, saying I embarrassed her and that I should be able to joke about my mom's death after 8 months. She claimed I was self-sabotaging and ruining our friendships. I felt sick reading that. Now I'm left wondering if I'm the one in the wrong for not being able to laugh about it. Am I the one who needs to move on?
Goodbye, little bro. I hope you found your peace. My little brother died by suicide a few weeks ago. Following his wishes, there will be no funeral. A friend suggested I write this out as a form of closure. So here it is. He was only 37 years old. We had been estranged for the last few years due to a miscommunication that was entirely my fault. I tried reaching out to him a few times, especially after discovering he had cancer. I don't know if he ever saw those messages. When I heard about his passing, my first reaction was a lack of surprise, followed by a profound grief that I don't know will ever leave me. I was 2 years older, right there with him through everything as we grew up. I remember it all, even the parts I've tried to forget. I hope he's found the peace that eluded him in life. While I wish he had made different choices, I understand he was true to himself in this decision. I grieve not only for his lost life, but for the options he should have had. That foundation was never established, and I am so sorry that this life failed you. I never got to tell you that you deserved so much better than the cards you were dealt. And now, for something completely uncharacteristic, I will not hold it quietly inside. I can almost feel my brother's mischievous grin as he takes out a chair, sitting back with a drink and popcorn in hand. Mother, this is where we stop pretending. If you're wondering how we got here, it starts with you. Every story about his pain begins with you. The worst thing that ever happened to him wasn't cancer or divorce. It was being born your son. May you one day feel, in full and sober clarity, exactly what you did to him. May you never again get to pretend you don't know. Rest in peace, bro.
My fiancé's insurance is going up $500, and I just want an out. We were finally in a good place. For almost a year, things were actually going right. I pulled myself out of a dead-end job at McDonald's, where I was barely surviving. I moved into a call center role just to bring in some extra money so we could breathe a little. It wasn't easy, but it was progress. Then 6 months ago, I landed my dream job as a marketing specialist, making $30 an hour. For once, I felt like all the struggle meant something. We live in a high-cost area, but this income finally let us feel normal. We could eat out occasionally, help family at Christmas, and even plan our wedding. We could dream about visiting my family in Asia, something I hadn't been able to do for years. But now, everything is falling apart again. His car insurance is going up by $500 because of a minor accident 3 months ago that was deemed his fault. The driver in front of him braked too quickly, and he couldn't stop in time. I'm grateful he is okay, and I understand how it happened. But this increase will take his entire paycheck. Completely. He can't give up the car because he drives all over the province for work. There will be no savings, no flexibility, no safety net. I will have to shoulder more rent, groceries, and bills. Just like that, we're back to survival mode. Counting every dollar, saying no to everything, and feeling that awful weight of working non-stop yet getting nowhere. It feels like all the progress I fought for has evaporated. And as if that wasn't enough, my contract for this job ends in July. I don't even know if they will keep me on. So now, on top of everything else, I'm scrambling. I'm looking for a part-time retail job to cover expenses and protect myself in case I lose this job. I'm exhausted and angry that this is even necessary. I finally did everything right, and yet here I am panicking about money and job security. We're supposed to be getting married this year. Yes, his mom is generously giving us $10,000 for the wedding, and I am grateful. But that doesn't fix everything. It doesn't change the fact that I won't be able to visit my family. I will miss being with them during one of the most important moments of my life, because once again, money gets in the way. I'm so tired of this cycle. Every time things start to feel stable, something happens, and we get shoved right back down. One mistake, one bill, one accident, and everything unravels. It's infuriating and feels deeply unfair. I don't want to go back to that life. I don't want to spend my days working myself into the ground just to barely survive again. I'm angry, burned out, and terrified of what comes next. Right now, I honestly don't know what to do. I'm anxious, scared, and mentally exhausted. I've been crying all day. I don't want to go back to that life again. Yes, I know we can make it, but I just can't mentally anymore. I just want out. I really just want an out. I feel like I am spiraling. I thought I was finally going to be happy, or at least content, but now I don't know what to do.
My husband came out as polyamorous. I'm a 43-year-old woman, and my husband is 46. We've been married for 15 years and have 2 school-aged kids. Like any couple, we've had our ups and downs, but I always believed we were doing okay. Then, he told me he's polyamorous. He explained that monogamy has always been a struggle for him, like a kettle about to boil over without a release valve. I was completely blindsided. I love him and our family deeply, and I didn't want to hold him back from being happy. So even though this was all new to me, I agreed to learn more about it. Just a couple of weeks later, he told me he found someone he wanted to date, a divorced woman from our neighborhood, 11 years younger than him. I hadn't even begun to process the idea of polyamory, and suddenly there was a date on the horizon. I felt blindsided all over again. I expressed that I needed time to adjust and suggested some basic boundaries. He got frustrated, saying he needed to explore freely. Whenever I tried to talk to someone or meet for coffee, he became visibly upset, acting like he was on the verge of a breakdown. I stopped pursuing anything because his mental well-being felt more important to me. Meanwhile, he continued talking to the neighbor. She would ignore me in public, and he kept insisting nothing is happening. Eventually, it came out that she cared about him, but had issues with him being married. That felt like a huge red flag. It seemed like my existence was the obstacle to their progress, and for them to get what they wanted, it would come at the cost of my marriage. Sometimes he acknowledged my concerns, but more often, he defended her and dismissed mine. Eventually, I said I wasn't comfortable with their relationship continuing. He agreed to delete each other's numbers and stop talking. But I noticed strange behavior at the bus stop. He would take longer to come home and wouldn't leave until she did. I spiraled and eventually checked his phone. They were still texting. He had silenced her notifications and regularly deleted messages. When I confronted him, he said he hid it because he was worried I'd do something reckless and hurt her. He was more upset that I looked at his phone than that he had lied to me. Now I feel like a shell of a person. I can barely get out of bed. The only reason I function at all is because of our kids, and the fact that my income supports most of the household. I do most of the cooking and cleaning, but I can't keep up. Our finances are spiraling, and my mental and physical health have taken a toll. I feel like my entire life is disintegrating, and somehow it's my fault. If I could just be more open, less hurt, and less reactive, everything would be fine. How do I stop spiraling and regain control of my life and my marriage?
Friend's girlfriend called me a pick-me, and now my friends want me to apologize. Hi everyone, I need some advice. I'm 36, and I have a close-knit group of 5 friends. We spend a lot of time together, playing video games, enjoying Friday Night Magic, watching movies, and diving into D&D. Recently, one of my friends, Bruce, started dating a woman named Silver, and we've tried to include her in our gatherings. At first, I didn't notice any tension. She joined us for our May the 4th party, and one of my friends helped her create a character for D&D. But the other night, everything changed. While I was passionately debating a comic book issue with another friend, Silver suddenly exploded. She accused me of being a pick-me and claimed I was upset about her being in the group. She yelled for what felt like an eternity, saying I was trying to attract the guys, especially Peter. I was stunned, just sitting there, unsure of how to respond. She even criticized my choices in D&D and Magic, saying I was dressing to impress. I tried to explain that I have no romantic interest in Bruce or any of my friends, but she just broke down in tears. Peter suggested I leave for the evening, so I did. Now, on Discord, my friends are saying I should apologize to her, except for Clark, who believes I did nothing wrong. There's been a lot of talk about keeping the peace, but I'm confused. I haven't done anything to warrant an apology, and it feels like my friends are taking her side. I'm at a loss about what to do next. I just want to understand why I should apologize when I haven't crossed any lines. WIBTA for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding. I recently got married to my husband in Bali, Indonesia, in January. It was a destination wedding, and while our parents covered their own travel expenses, we paid for our friends' plane tickets and hotel stays. Each ticket cost about $2,000, and the hotel was around $150 to $300 for the week. My friend Gemma brought her newlywed husband John, but paid for his ticket herself. The problem is, they didn't show up to my wedding. When I asked Gemma why, she told me they couldn't afford their own honeymoon and saw this as a perfect opportunity. John simply didn't feel like going. I was really hurt. Gemma and I have been friends for over 10 years. I couldn't help but wonder if I should take her to small claims court for the money I spent on the plane ticket and hotel. After receiving advice, I decided to reach out to Gemma for clarity. I messaged her, expressing my hurt about her absence and how I had worked hard to ensure she could attend. I asked if she thought I paid for the trip just so they could honeymoon. She replied, saying she missed me and acknowledged the trip was for my wedding. But John felt that my wedding ruined the idea of it being their honeymoon, and she thought I would understand. I told her I didn't understand. It felt like she took advantage of my generosity, and that's not what real friends do. I sent her an invoice for $2,387.53. The cost of the plane ticket and hotel room, giving her 30 days before I'd consider legal action. Since then, I haven't heard back from her, but she's been posting vague quotes on Instagram about entitled friends and having snakes in her life.
My professor asked me to go on a date after I graduate next month. Hi everyone. I wanted to take a moment to thank you all for your kind comments on my last post. They truly helped me navigate my feelings. I've been asked for an update, so here it is. First and foremost, I got a job. It's at a large PR firm in the city, and I start next week. They didn't ask for references, but they checked my LinkedIn profile and were satisfied with the recommendations I had there. I'm so excited. After posting, I realized I wanted to explore something romantic with Mark, my professor. I felt a sense of relief after getting some advice, so I emailed him the next day. I thanked him for the recommendation letter and shared that I wouldn't be using it. I also expressed my interest in going out to dinner with him. I mentioned how he had been an incredible mentor, but I was ready to see a different side of him. I even joked about not needing to get Indian food, referencing a funny moment when he got sick after trying a dish at a dive bar. An hour later, I received a text from him, and we've been chatting ever since. On Friday, I found out I got the job, and he wasn't surprised at all. Saturday was my graduation day. My parents flew down, and it was wonderful. I saw Mark at the mixer, and he had a big smile on his face. I was busy taking photos, and noticed he left after a while, saying he didn't want to spoil my day. We went out to dinner yesterday. It was fantastic. Afterward, he walked me back to my condo. We said goodnight, and as he started to walk away, I felt a bit disappointed. But then he called my name and kissed me. He admitted he was still getting used to this. I know this post is a bit scattered, but I'm feeling so giddy and excited. Between the new job, finally graduating, and that lovely date with my professor, I'm on cloud 9 right now. Thank you all for your support. In short, I got a new job, graduated, and went on a date with Mark. He's a great kisser, and I'm really happy.